Okay, so I figured I might try something new. For a certain feeling and a certain drive for making videos, I want to do a lot more raw and unedited and unscripted sort of videos where I discuss my certain love and hate for things and as such. And what inspired me to make this video is recollecting seeing videos about, oh, I know, certain metal and music YouTubers saying 5 bands that I dislike and whatnot. And I figured, why not just, oh, I know, do the opposite and just, I don't know, say certain bands that are highly underrated, underappreciated, and as such. So here goes. Number 5 is Brain Bomb. Now, Brain Bomb is a noise rock band that happens to do a lot of very punk aesthetics and punk-like attitudes and as such. And when I heard the fucking album called Obey, I was so mesmerized by how so unhinged it is, both sound-wise and lyrically. I mean, at the beginning, it was just like some sweet old fucking electric piano tune. You know, I could just want to snap my fingers to. You know, something akin to like electro jazz and as such. But when the song and the guitar just came in, the vocals, I was like, what the fuck is this? I love it. With songs like Fuck Them All and Die You Fuck, talking about stabbing someone, and some very just unhinged and fucked up things. I was like, oh my god, I gotta show this to everyone. And when I just showed these people, they were like, what the fuck are you listening to? And that's what I just said. What the fuck am I listening to? And yet I love it because it is just so unhinged. And they're just so self-aware about how fucked it is. And Brain Bomb is one of the earliest examples of noise rock. And that's why I happen to recommend. If you want something so unhinged and so unconventional to the point where you just love it, check out Brain Bomb and their album Obey. Okay, number 4. Number 4 mixes certain aspects of sludge and grindcore with some other elements, and this band goes by the name Soylent Green. Now, Soylent Green is an extreme metal band that came from the South. They mix certain aspects of not just sludge and grindcore, but also black metal, death metal, hardcore punk, and southern blues. And when I first heard this, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. How come they don't have any more recognition? I mean, when I first heard the album Pussy Soul and Sewn-Mouth Secrets, I was just so mesmerized by their sound, and that just influenced me to mix certain aspects of like death metal, grindcore, and sludge because I just saw a new recipe for like amazement. I mean, just hearing the very sludgy, very dirty riffs mixed in with the very deep, guttural growls and the very chaotic, impactful sound of grindcore, I was just amazed. I became a big fan. So I would definitely recommend albums like Sewn-Mouth Secrets and Pussy Soul because they're absolutely amazing records to start off by and just give appreciation for. Okay, number 3, Naked City. Naked City happens to be a jazz band that mixes the very chaotic and very impactful foundations of grindcore, and they were fronted by John Zorn. Now, I would definitely recommend all their albums because all their albums are just so unhinged and just so wild. And when I say this, I try to give the best examples of the most wild and the most impactful and craziest forms of jazz music that I've ever heard in my life. And when I see Naked City just doing this and mixing a very unhinged and very anti-music genre called grindcore, I just fell in love. This actually backs up my statement saying that jazz music is the most unconventional and the most punk form of contemporary music that you can ever hear once you actually delve into the many diverse sounds of jazz. I just love it. Okay, let's see here. Number 2. Number 2 happens to be Front 242. Now, as many of you know, or if you don't know, I'm a big-time fan of industrial music. Just hearing the impactful factory machines being sampled and just being played around the certain tracks being remixed into something so amazing. I just fell in love with it. Now, Front 242 is absolutely an amazing group. They have the most impactful and some of the most hard-hitting sounds that you can ever hear. And I just fell in love. I just fell in love. Okay, and number 1, this happens to be a death metal band. The death metal band happens to be God Macabre. Now, I happen to be a big fan of Scandinavian death metal. And when I say Scandinavian, I say stuff like Swedish death metal and Finnish death metal because those bands just go fucking unhinged. They're just so very DIY. Some of them are very influenced by crust punk and hardcore punk. And when I first heard of the band called God Macabre, I just fell in love. Now, I forgot the album name, but I would definitely recommend looking up God Macabre and seeing their selection. Just seeing some of the most unhinged fucking Swedish death metal groups just being all just crazy and just all over the place with their sound. I just fell in love. Not only that, but also the vocals are so beastly. And it kind of actually differs from a while. The typical, like, pig growls or the deep guttural vocals that sound like you're burping. You know, I'm more into death metal vocals that have a more beastly effect to them. That sound like you're shouting. That sound like you're shouting in a deep tone and whatnot. And I just fell in love. Okay, so those are the 5 bands that I would happen to recommend. And if you want any more recommendations, and if you want to see more videos like this, please comment down below. And I'll see you later. You have a good day or night.